morning and welcome to The Point. It is Thursday, July 15th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9 and all the viewers and listeners on Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. It is a pleasure to have you this morning. This morning we are doing an open line program. Just to switch for this week, the guest can only be accommodated tomorrow, Friday, God willing. So we're going to switch the guest day and to an open line from today and tomorrow, please the Lord. So we'll have a guest tomorrow, please the Lord, hopefully, and we're doing the open line today. So landline number 435-2041. The WhatsApp number, it's also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp. No voice or video calls, no YouTube links, no pictures, videos, no voice notes, only written messages on WhatsApp. And you can also comment, question, make your questions, pose your questions, make your queries, post your concerns on the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel. Open phone line where we give you viewers and listeners an opportunity to share anything that you would like to on any topic, national, regional, international importance. First caller, good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning, my dear. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good. How you do?
I'm okay, you know.
Great, go ahead.
Yes, this morning, you know, I just want to send a signal to the Ministry of Lands and Surveys. You know, I want them to make a check on the south of the island. Because, you know, people who have their documents in their hand are being, you know, plagued by those who apparently haven't got any document to the land. And this is creating problem. Telling you how to move a boundary, this is where I don't know what to do, and this, that, and the other. So, you know, I like the Ministry of Lands and Survey to take a look into the lands on the south. Please?
Do you have a specific area in mind, or the whole, the whole south is a big
Not
place?
the whole south. Well, they call them Montu proper, but I live in on the Granans. I will say it's Granans Valley, but that is towards the pasture area.
Okay.
So I'd like them to, you know, take a look. Because too much confusion, too much this one saying this is theirs, this is mine, and you're fighting for land, and go with it in your coffin, man. If you pay for a square foot of land, it's a square foot of land you will get. You know, so I'd like them to take a look into it for me, please.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, hopefully somebody from the ministry or close to is listening and they can follow through on the caller's request. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, beautiful.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty, I don't know if we got cut off or if you panic, don't panic, caller. Let me go to the social. This morning during Talk to Things Thursday, I did promise to get to some of the comments that I didn't get through during the morning program, so I would endeavor to get to them. Quite a few on the WhatsApp during the course of Open Line. Good morning, caller.
Morning, greetings, Sister Blossom.
Greetings, how you do?
Holding on yet still, eh?
All right, keep holding on.
Well, I know you're good because your voice is always strong, and I think you're doing it as you're supposed to do it.
I'm trying nothing.
Yeah, you don't have no fault.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Sister, we was talking this morning. I was trying to get through, and I couldn't get through with the conversation with the sexual advancement. Now, we have to look deeper into our life because first we have to realize that we was a people that was abused, and in our genes, in our blood, there is something that transmits onto us from since those slave advancements on our sisters and our brothers. You understand? It didn't have no age or description for these evil people and them to abuse us to the standard that they did. So today, when our children, and we get, like somebody said this morning, then the ones on them that like lesbian, or how you may call them, homosexual, like you say, some born with this thing in them, then you can't deny it. You see, so some of our people, the point about it is to control, and I think that we have to look on the long-term base, because when we get to the history of what been we got it contaminated by. Then we have the solution is that we have to look into our schools, look into what we teach our children, look into the curriculum and we have to put things that could enlighten our children so eventually they would have a better communication than to have this kind of vulgar life which we had to get ourselves involved in, and then it come a part of our generation or a part of our culture. I mean, sometimes we have to create examples that it in the same Bible, you know, sometimes it said dreadful thing like stone them to death and all kind of stuff. So then we see it not fitting to go so because we are thinking in the Christian way where we should turn the left and turn the right. But then there is certain things we just can't keep turning in the left and turning the right. We have to take a stand. And as I say, the best principle we should develop is to go in the school and go in the churches who get more affiliated to people and let the children know from there how we should move among ourselves and what is the cause. So when we know where the roots of this evil come, then we should know that is not a part of us, but it's something that is injected into us. So that's why we have to be so careful in what we let them inject into our body because they don't love us. Give thanks, my sister.
Give thanks, caller. Thank you very much. All right, let me get to the WhatsApp before I go back to the phone line. Somebody on WhatsApp says, naming and shaming is after the crime is already committed and the young victim is already physically and psychologically damaged. What we need is something to prevent the crime from the inception. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, you're live on Classic. Go right ahead. All right, listen to me. Okay. WhatsApp. Somebody says they could have a sexual offenders registry if they wish, but I don't think this is a solution to the problem. For one thing, it will get us to focus on those on the list and pay little attention to the ones who may commit the next act. What we need is a comprehensive approach, how we bring up our children, meaningful laws to protect our children, equality among sexes and classes, profiling of the perpetrators, and laying the blame where it belongs. Too often, we shift the blame from the criminal to the child or the mother or the society or someone or something else. Listening to callers, I ask, why do we expect women to be perfect but men shouldn't be? Don't women have hormones too? I remember that caller. WhatsApper, you make a valid point in terms of the list would be those who have committed the crimes, but the perpetrators that we don't know of. Valid point. Good morning, caller.
Yes. This morning, there's something else I wanted to speak about. Now, somebody had made a comment this morning about can a 2-year-old or 3-year-old attract somebody to that effect. Now, yesterday I sat here in my house and I heard some voices. I looked out the door and I saw some little children with, I wondered who were they with. I didn't see anybody at the time, but a little while after, I saw 2 adults emerge with some more children. So it could be about 20, 25 of the children. Little children, to me, they're no more than 8 to 10 years old. And the people who were with them, one of them had a radio, and they were playing a song, a calypso. I don't know what was the name of it. And my dear, if you saw how some of the children begin to gyrate, and like what we were saying, whine, it was the children. And I was amazed that these people, as though they was, encouraging them to go on. And it maybe lasted for about a minute and a half or 2, and they walked away. Now, when we teach our children at that little age, what are we expecting from them? What do they do that would attract these men? Because, you see, people are turned on what they see. And they see the children, when you see some of the children, they behave in some way. Before they hear music, they wind down. And so men looking at that, and the demon spirit in them get activated, and they rape them. Now we blaming the men. But what do we teach our children? What are we exposing our children to? And I made the point this morning that God knew and saw now what would happen to children. That's why he said, the womb that never bear in these last days are blessed. People must consider what God says and think of what He says it. It's because of what people will do that will cause children to be abused. Don't blame the children. It's what we teach them. I was shocked. I don't know what, if it's a school, if it is a home they come from, I don't know. But it's about 20-something children. And Papa, they give them that and see them little children gyrate. You wonder what's taking place. So when we corrupt them from that age, that is what they do. When they see somebody, they hear the music, they whine, they don't feel them as big men and women, so they use them. Blame ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that, Ms. Jeremiah. Let me go to YouTube. Somebody on YouTube, Blossom, you should call them and pass on the information just in case nobody's listening. This is a serious matter that we don't want to see. Thank you very much. Any more bloodshed. Thank you for that, Ms. Jeremiah. That's in relation to the call about the land in the south. I usually advise people to make the calls themselves, especially when they can provide more information than I can. They can give them the location, what the problem is, and so on and so forth. There's only so much I can do from my little corner here. All right, back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. All right, lost that caller. Somebody on scenes trying to leave me on read? No ma'am, no sir. All right, let me see if I get this caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blossom.
Good morning, how you doing?
Good enough. How is mommy and daddy?
Mommy and daddy is good.
All right,
good.
Protocol well established.
Yes.
Anyhow, now, every time you talk about education, I don't know if you against even me, but people have a tendency to hate people that talk about education, because to me, they have a vague idea of what education. And as far as I'm concerned, everything we do, we could either educate people the wrong way or the right way. And as far as I'm concerned, in addressing this thing about abuse of children, whether sexually or otherwise, having this list and putting it up maybe to the public, I don't think this would be able to solve any problem. What I do think, or some of the many things that I've thought of is, for example, you have to give these people stiff penalties, and you have to parade them. I can't even say that they have shame, because if the persons or the people had shame, they would have never done that serious act of crime. So what I think we really need is education, and people tend to hate people that are talking about education. Now, education don't mean able to read and write and all those sort of things, and know geometry, and know the concept of certain things, but you must able to utilize the education that you have, put it in the right perspective, and don't telling people to parade them and all them. Yes, some people have shame, some don't have shame. What we have to do, even with the vaccination, we have to educate the people. And when you talk about it, in fact, I've said that already. Somebody attacked me because they know me and say, all what I'm talking about is education. So people are biased to people who have a tendency to talk about education. Everything you do in the world, people tend to have the idea that they have to conquer. They born with that. People have the idea, and we talk about endocrine system, and we don't even understand what we are talking about. You hear people just jump on a bandwagon and saying that the people, the endocrine system is not this. But each and every one of us endocrine system behave in a different way. Oh, and our system is not the same. Some have weak, some have strong. Some have brain would tell them right from wrong. They could analyze things. So we have to see how well we could educate people in all different fields, in planting bananas, in planting cocoa, in even thinking. We have to fashion the brain, help them to fashion the brain. That's all I have to say. Okay. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Appreciate it as always. All right, let me go to Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, to address any societal problem, you must go to the root after, find solutions, because there are different types of people in society. That same Facebooker says, okay, I'll leave out that next comment. I don't know why all it does be quarreling with one another. Let's go to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, have you taken a good look at the behavior of some of our young girls? Some of them literally put themselves on men. The baby girls are, of course, a different story. Mothers have to open their eyes more. Another WhatsApper says, castration is not enough. Remember, they have their 2 hands still after castration. They will be in a rage. Think about what they could do. So that's not enough. Something more drastic should be done. Let them feel the pain as the innocent child. So castration and maim them? Loss. All right, phone lines. No, let me go back to WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, hot things as burn. We learn to stay away from hot surfaces since we small. Caller, you failed when you reached that part. That's in relation to a caller that spoke about hot girls on Talk the Things Thursday this morning. Back to the landline. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Blossom, and to
morning.
All your followers in the different media. I agree. This is a very sickening thing, and we're hearing about more and more.
Sorry, Mr. Bonner, just turn away from the breeze.
The fan, yeah. The fan close by. Yes, and only on Monday, someone told me of another case that happened in Hermitage. 4-year-old. I don't know if this one is in the public domain yet, but they're happening fast and furious all around us. It's an epidemic. They're happening at a faster rate than we're getting COVID cases, I'm sure we had probably over 100 for the year, and we're only seven months in. This is a very disturbing thing. And I agree that it has to be a comprehensive report. But the registry has to be a part of it. The registry has to be a part. Stronger legislation, dealing with the societal issues. There are a lot of broken families, and there are broken kids who are very vulnerable. I've spoken about it before. You go in some of the country areas, there are a number of children, boys as well as girls, who have been made very vulnerable by irresponsible, I wouldn't call them parents, individuals who brought them into the world and are not taking responsibility for their safety. But that doesn't mean that somebody has a right to abuse them all the same. There are many sick people out there as well. Really sick. For somebody to abuse an infant or a 4-year-old, you got to be sick. So it has to be a comprehensive approach. Some of the problems are spiritual. But we can't just say pray about them and that will change. God has given us wisdom. He's given us laws and other things to protect us from one another, and we have to approach it in a comprehensive way. But I agree that while the register is not all, it's probably not even 10% of what needs to be done. It must be, I repeat, it must be a part of that process of trying not to rid, but we won't rid our society of it, but to minimize. We have to focus a lot more. Let's stop giving handouts, and let us try to help people to lift themselves up. We feel a handout will cure everything. We just give people things. Somebody come with 4 kids, you give them something. They go to a constituency office, they get this, they get that, X, Y, Z. We're not trying to help to lift these people up. And I think more emphasis should be placed on helping to build our people, build families. And where if it's a single parent family, help to build these people. The churches have a role to play. But I think our governments are more focused on giving people things to appease them rather than developing the people who really have problems. So it's sad, but it has to be an all-inclusive, comprehensive approach. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You enjoy your day as well. All right, let me scour through. All right, let me go to Facebook. And this comment is in relation to Ms. Jeremiah's comment about what she saw from the young girls in her home yesterday, or in front of her home yesterday. The comment on Facebook says, guess they're practicing for their carnival band. I remember years ago in Barbados, I bought tickets for all the crop over shows, including Kiddies Carnival. When I got to the show and I saw the little children and heard the way the adults were encouraging them to go down to Bottom Town, it was so disgusting to me, I never attended another one. All right, let me go back by WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, the discussion is mainly focused on men, but what about ladies who are introducing children and other young girls to sex and lesbianism? Would they be considered as sex offenders as well, or the focus is mainly on men? They are sex offenders. Once you have been charged and or convicted, you are a sex offender, and I'm hoping the list will include any and everybody despite your gender. Good morning, caller.
Morning, Blossom.
Morning.
All right. Somebody touched an island this morning, and they're saying that the government should take back Caledonia Island. But it's good to know something. Growing up as a small boy, I knew Caledonia Island as a private island. I used to go there with a Bajan man called Mr. Evelyn fixing boots engines. So that island is a private island. Now the Hog Island, it used to be a private island owned by local Grenadians, but somehow I think the government get between and mess it up. But I look at that island properly, and that is an island to make one of the biggest and sort of a secluded natural park for Grenadians. As the bridge line it out, on the other side, all vehicles will be parking there. You pay to come over. That island is so universal that you can have groups coming there to fish. You can have people coming there camping on holidays. They can have a football field there, small, so you can play football, recreation, volleyball net. You can have a couple 2-3 cottage that people wooden cottage that people can rent, and also where that football field going to locate it could be an area with a stage. You could have any live show there, like with Todd Wall or all local groups performing there, and anytime like a holiday. That should be and then what is so good for the music? Everything mostly going to the sea and not back to the mainland. And so that the people in the area are like Wobans with boats, and certain times we're sailing around the island on a holiday for the people that they come there. That island is so unique, but we take it and do that. Should be the biggest natural park for Grenada. But most of the islands, and this side is private, but the only island that government owns on this side is Governor's Island. Then you have the islands on up the Caribou side. What I think we should do, they have some fishermen up there. We should have an island that when Grenadians go there on a weekend, when they get holiday and when you go there, like you go to a retreat for fish. They have little houses, little cottage, but they have a main kitchen. When you go there, everything from roast sprat, anything you get there. Fried fish and bake, and only seafood, fish, broth, salmon. When you go there, it's like you go for a vitamin build-up retreat.
Okay.
There are some people here that have a hotel here, and a lot of people don't know it. You've seen it advertised. You see that big hotel by that big building by the sugar factory there? That is something like that. You're paying a certain amount of money, and when you go there, you're getting all the quality of food and treatment. But that, I think you can go there for a month or 2 months or whatever.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Let me see. All right, let me go to WhatsApp. A WhatsApper says the caller during Talk to Things Thursday talking about hot when it said men that sexualizing children. I respect everyone's opinion, but this man and them have to stop that. Respect children like they're your own. Yes to the registry. Hashtag yes to the registry. Somebody else on WhatsApp, we are listening to you and the office says make prostitution legal in Grenada. What say you? I say not. We already have undercover sexually related jobs. Let me put it that way. And I still find it's taking over the place already. Making it legal would just make the thing more cantankerous. I say not. To each its own, but I say not. Another WhatsApper before we go to back to the phone. Somebody says Grenada has too many loose parents. Women who have children for several men and men who have children with several women. They have no regard for the sanctity of life, period. Why do you expect these perverts to respect kids? Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd just like to change the subject a little about the road.
Okay. It's open line, so go right ahead.
You know, when you're going to St. George's,
Caller,
yeah.
Just turn the volume down on the radio or the television, whichever one you're watching the program on. Just turn the volume down. You'll hear me in the phone.
Is that better?
No, turn it down some more. Still hearing the echo.
Right. Okay, I'll go in the bedroom then. Nobody could see me there. Yes. What I was checking on driving on this road going to St. George's before the fallage. I think they had a petrol station up there and they pull it down. You with me?
Yes, I am.
And this place there is sinking. They have a big sheet of steel in the center of the road there. And over time, that place keeps sinking. And when you're driving, you've got to be so careful up and down. Is the government cannot send somebody or the people who see about the road to fix that out, do what they're doing, make it a one-way traffic when they're fixing it, fix half at a time before it sinks?
I'm not sure.
You know the place I'm talking about?
I know where you're talking about. I travel that road every day, yes.
Yeah, okay, that sense then.
Okay.
That place is sinking, and they have that big sheet of metal in the road there, and the vehicle and them going up on it. And there's a lot of big truck and so past there. One morning we're going to get up, and we weren't able to pause there, and everybody will have to go around Woburn side, get to Grand Dance. Trust me, I could see that going to happen soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know the area you speak of. I recall quite a few years ago, when the gas station just came, Starmat. I still call it Starmat to be honest. When the gas station just came and the road started to sink, I think they did. I do not know if it was a feasibility study or if it was just observation, but they noticed it sinking, and the gas station closed. And I remember they reopened it after assessing how the road could be fixed, and it was deemed that the road is unfixable, if that's a word. I don't think that's a word, but to get a point, that it was not possible to properly reconstruct the road to what it once was. I am not sure what the problem was. Maybe in 2021 that conclusion could be changed, but that was many years ago, a few years ago. So I'm not sure if it can be fixed. Remember, there are houses on the next side of the road, like what would be the cliff facing the sea. There are homes and businesses there. So I'm not sure if they would have to be moved for the road to be fixed. Next thing we end up in another situation like Molineux. Fingers crossed that we don't. but I'm not sure what could be done at that area. All right, let us take a break, pay some bills, and then we're going to come back with Open Line Thursday here on To The Point. We'll be right back.
Hello everyone, I'm Godfrey Augustine. Culture is ever-changing, and every nation has its own unique culture. And within a nation, the communities have their unique subcultures. Here in Grenada, it's no different. We have our unique culture and also our subcultures. But there is an emerging trend in Grenada that's happening. And you know, different behaviors and actions, if continued long enough and on a broad enough scale, can eventually become part of our culture. The emerging trend of weekend jab is quickly growing in Grenada. Should it continue? Or will it eventually become part of our culture or our weekend culture? Weekend jab. Join us this Friday on We Culture. Myself, together with Scholar, Doc, and Risi, will look into the issue and the emerging trend of weekend jab. See you this Friday on We Culture.
Hey folks, you're invited to tune in to Grenada Music to the World program, hosted by Eugene Gittens on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, Hot FM 98.5, 98.7, GBN TV, and all their social media platforms. The only totally local music program in Grenada, representing all genres of music. So it's Green's Music to the World on Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to 12 noon on GBN with the music icon himself, Mr. Eugene Gittens. See you then.
Welcome back to Open Line Thursday on To The Point. This is the opportunity we give our viewers and listeners to share their thoughts, concerns, questions, or queries on anything that they'd like to. Again, the landline number, 435-2041. The WhatsApp number is also 435-2041. Please, only written messages on WhatsApp, and you can continue to post your comments, questions, queries, concerns on Facebook and YouTube. Before I go back to the phone line, somebody on WhatsApp is inquiring if I have the link for the pension matter between the unions and government this morning. I do not have a link. I have just, during the break, I was looking through the social media for all three unions, GUT, TAU, and PWU. Neither of them have a link. However, on the PW Facebook page, they have a picture of a big screen in a conference room of sorts, with the court proceedings on the big screen. So that's for people who can. I know there are some viewers and listeners in other parts of the world who cannot make it into the PW building this morning, but they do not have the Zoom information. I've WhatsApped one of the union executive members to see if she can make it available to me, and then if she shares, I will share it with you. But in the meantime, those of you who want to witness the proceedings, you can head to the PWU building. There's a big screen in one of the conference rooms and chairs available, so you can tune in via that medium. Let me go to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
As far as I'm concerned, we have too many good engineers in Grenada. Towards this road I'm talking about in Granans. How could you place teeth or cliff or soft materials or gravels over a place that's always moving? What you should do, you should put things as big, or as you would say, big large stone to prevent it from moving. This is the problem. We have too much engineers or good engineers in Grenada, and this is why we are always failing. This place is waterlogged. The water from the hills come on and it is. So you have to see how well you could get rid of the water lower down, and you commented about the houses on the bottom side. If the houses on the bottom side are not sinking or not moving, then something is wrong with the engineers that are building the road above the houses. Okay. So they have to get good engineers, even if they have to pay more. Okay. Everybody in Grenada is a builder, is an engineer, is a this or that. In fact, I've fired men that tried to work with me because I see they were going wrong.
All right. Thank you very much, caller. 1 minute, because you've called already for the morning. Let me go back to WhatsApp. So a WhatsApper says, will we be able to shame and name all who do bad things to others? It should include thieves, etc. All have sinned and all do ungodly things to others. I suggest more media education programs showing who and what pedophiles do, so children will identify them. Some will always be around. How are we isolating them from around children? Children are part of our society, and they will be too. There's a difference in thieving and sexually abusing minors and children. Sexually abusing people. There's a difference. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. I thinking about that. You know, every time you hear on the radio, vulnerable. But yes, there are a lot of vulnerable people. But there are people, it might be husband and wife, and they have a few children, 2, 3, 4, and they're going through real struggle, but they don't check them as vulnerable. These people and them, they might have real need. And everybody looking at the person that might have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 children, a wife, the lady alone there with them. But sometimes husband and wife, people must check on that too, you know. Husband and wife, and they're going through struggle. People only talk, well, even the government, they only studying those that maybe single parent. But what about the 2 parents and then 2 of them not working? They can't even pay their bill, and you hear they say, what? We're going through a real kind of thing, you know, and especially know that everything, the price go up. Everything is just higher. And I don't see the government doing nothing to lower the price of something. When I say that, every time we know the gas price go up, and the government getting $5.50 on the gas, at least people begging they could take out a little something for these people. I heard somebody saying this morning about the fishermen, how they're struggling to buy the gas. You think the government can take out a little? Well, I'm saying $2 again. I'm saying $1.50 on the gallon. And don't worry, I don't believe what they're saying when they say they don't have money, you know. Because every day more people popping up. Look at these people they're getting to go and do the vaccine thing, to go around and do that. When you watch, you're seeing 4 people coming to see if you don't wash your hand and squeeze and put sanitizer. So one set of people, I find they should really check over this thing. Check it out, because there are a lot of people in Grenada that are really, really going through a lot of tough times. And I feel they should get help. Not one set of people when you look every third Wednesday or whatever time they get in their money. One set of people just getting, you have 7 children, you're getting for 7 children. The person has 3 children and they're struggling and they get nothing. Have a good morning.
Thank you. You enjoy your morning as well. All right, let me go back to Facebook and see. All right, somebody on Facebook says, with all that's going on, no one is paying attention to the unforeseen circumstances that present itself from the decisions made, such as calling the country the jab country, having so many rum factories, and now planning to legalize cannabis, providing excuses for disgusting behavior. Don't forget, every perpetrator is represented by a lawyer. Imagine that. Another WhatsApper says, well, the way this country is heading, prostitution is inevitable, considering they're paying NIS in preparation for retirement. And this Facebooker says, I think the problem is not education really. We tend to ignore behavior. In this country, because one does not just get up and molest a child, there's always pattern of how the people behave, and sometimes we've seen it and would not offer to help that person by talking to them. So see what is going on with that individual. Sometimes just as simple as a hug can make a difference, and how many psychologists we have on island in different communities to give the help badly needed. All right, and in relation to the last caller, somebody else on Facebook says, caller, this administration wicked, they're wicked, they don't care about the people. Good morning, caller. Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Right. I want to support that I think the last caller that said, okay, every perpetrator is being represented by a lawyer, right? We have alcohol selling all over the place, right? The thing about this is, again, apart from that, every street corner, you've seen an ad, right? And it's been and a half-naked woman is being depicted there, right? Even in the terminal, somewhere when I will watch these pictures, I say, Lord, have mercy. And children is exposed to these things. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that give men a license for doing what they want to do. I'm not saying that, please. But what I'm saying is, if we condone all these things, even the music and I mean on the buses, I mean it is so disgusting. So it's like, but it's like everything lead up to this kind of derogatory behavior, you know. So sometimes when you really think about these things, and you watch what's going on, we the big people condoning these things, and the ladies again, mothers contribute to these things, right? Whether directly or indirectly. So the thing about castration and quarter of the days, quarter of the data, I don't know. But I see it is Blossom is a holistic approach, right? Everybody is responsible for these things, whether directly or indirectly. All of us, me, you, all of us. Right? We are responsible whether directly or indirectly. And unless we take it from that standpoint, nothing will do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. I note your concern as well with them posters and them in tongue. They disgust me as well. Let me not say everything. Most things that they're advertising is some half-naked woman on it, and the woman in and nothing to do with the fat. And that has just frustrated me and annoy me. I'm going to stop before I start to rant again. I'm going to go by WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, the registry is after the fact. Most perpetrators don't expect to be caught. What is needed is strong penalties that will act as deterrents and cause the perpetrators to think 5 times before committing such ghastly acts. Another WhatsApper, I think these men need deliverance. Sometimes there is evil forces behind them. They need to repent and turn to God. And this WhatsApper says, no, that's just the devil born that way, please. All right, let me go back to the landline. All right, no calls, back to WhatsApp. Lies. Back to the landline. Good morning, caller.
Morning.
Good morning.
You see, Ms. Lawson, it got very hard for them to hold the rapers and them. Because most time that happening is inside house. It happen inside houses.
Wait, say that again, please.
It's very hard to hold who doing it. You see, they will never get rid of that because fathers breaking out their children from inside the house.
Okay, I just hear what you said. Okay.
A child get molested on the road or in a shop, you torture. The police will hold them. Somebody will see you, but fathers doing it inside house. Uncle doing this.
fathers doing children since in Pampers time. Your fathers are molesting children with a finger, seeing them as children, little child. They groom them until they reach age. So that could never happen. He could never stop. He'll continue until they get all on them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. And that's my concern. I remember this morning I said I would tell you all my concern with the sex offenders registry. My concern with the sex offenders registry, while I am all for naming and shaming, and hopefully that will be a deterrent. And a caller made the point this morning, Grenada is a small place. So when we identify these men, these perpetrators, not men, these men and women, when we identify them, especially those who have been charged with sexually molesting their children or close family members, it wouldn't take long for us to put two and two together and identify the victims. And that is my concern. When we identify these victims, or when we are able to identify these victims, that's when more shame on the victim. That's when this victim feels more victimized. And that's a concern of mine. Because when we hear, let me not use a next thing and make up a name, somebody's name. When we hear Blossom sexually assaulted somebody, or her son, her daughter, and we put two and two together, that's Blossom's daughter, then that is a problem. And that explains as well, a lot of people have been complaining that the media does not always publish pictures, neither do the police publish pictures of perpetrators. It's not for them, it's for the victim. Again, it's not for them, it's for the victim. So it's not a deliberate move to shield the perpetrator. Personally, I couldn't care less. I'm going to be honest, I couldn't care less about the perpetrators. It's the victim's identity that we're trying to protect. All right, that's all I'm going to say on that. Let me go back to, let me see what's on the social media. Anything on, a new comment on YouTube. All right, let me go to YouTube. Somebody on YouTube says, well, I guess outside of most of what we were talking about this morning, somebody on YouTube says, why gas prices are cheaper in the other OECS countries and we are under the same agreement? I am not too certain about that. We would have to ask who that would be by. That would be Minister Oliver Joseph. Trade, maybe? Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, Grenada, I'm living in a foreign country and gas price gone up. I find that churches and private companies can help government, can't do everything. Start over. I'm living in a foreign country and gas price gone up. I find that churches and private companies can help. Government can't do everything. All over the world, there is poverty and Grenada is blessed. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Blasham.
Good morning.
The only thing I have to say about that is that Grenadians too hypocrite. Them politicians just investigate the history, them male politicians in Grenada, and see who they make children with, how much children they have, and so forth, and you will see what's going on with them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Can of worms. WhatsApp. As a nation, most times we absolve men from responsibilities and place most of the responsibilities on our women. There has to be a one-on-one long-term engagement with the perpetrator in an attempt to bring that change of heart, mind, and action. I strongly stress a one-on-one biblical counseling. God is the one to fix the heart of man. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
The person is just saying about the government can do it all and so on, and the churches and also. But we're not saying, not the government, not the churches, we're paying the taxes. The churches isn't taking every little cent for tax. It's the government that's taking out the taxes. So I'm not saying people can assist, but it's the government that's collecting the tax. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, somebody on WhatsApp says, all is so desperate for people to take vaccine to get back to the so-called normal when we were never normal. Can't you all see it's a dog-eat-dog world? And why not share the $10,000 among 20 people instead of giving one? They might do that next time if there's a next time. Another WhatsApper, my heart goes out to our teachers. As a past educator, both primary and tertiary, I am very concerned that our Ministry of Education can come up with some of new ideas for going forward. I'm fully behind training, but I am not too sure that the time allotted to the training is very suitable. After being in the classroom all morning, how alert are the teachers going to be during the afternoon period? I would suggest that the ministry personnel meet with the teachers to settle on the times best suited for everyone. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Pastor.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just saying that a lot of people fail to realize that a lot of sexual offenders are people that have been sexually offended themselves. So we need to start from like the root of the problem, even though it's like a sexual ed class from since primary school, teaching children about pedophiles so that they can speak out. Because a lot of these people have been molested themselves, so it's just a vicious cycle can happen over and over and over again. Thank you.
Thank you, caller. Valid point. Abusers are sometimes abusees. They were victims themselves turned perpetrator. And it's a cycle, unfortunately. All right. WhatsApp. Hold on. Let me see. YouTube. No comments on YouTube. Facebook. All right. Let me read somebody on Facebook. A comment on Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, hopefully, having shared this blossom, we are going to see why the law enforcement does not publicize the perpetrators. I'm hoping. Another Facebooker just beneath that one, Michael. Everything in Grenada takes forever to get done. I am still waiting for the police to do something about those derelict vehicles that are blocking our roads. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Morning.
I am deviating from most of what people are saying this morning. I have been listening for the last few weeks about people want their holiday to relax, to do this, concerning the holidays that were taken away. What I think is automatic that they cancel Carnival, they cancel it. I'm just giving you an idea. The average Grenadian worker have 135 days home every year. Saturday, Sunday, public holidays, and if they get in 2 weeks vacation, some people get 4 weeks, some 3, some as much as 6 week vacation. So the average Grenadian stay home 1 day every 3 days per year. Our production is so low in Grenada, yet we're talking about your 1-2 more days to relax. The Monday before that, you relaxing, because it's Emancipation holiday. You have 4 days working, and then Saturday and Sunday you are home again, and you are clamoring for 2 more days to rest and relax. The average Grenadian stay home from work 135 days a year, 1 day every 3 days. For the mic of me, and that does not include teachers, of course, which is a whole lot more, but for the work they do. But for the mic of me, I cannot understand how tired you can be when you stay home an average of one day every 3 days. Have a great day.
Thank you, caller. Caller, you're counting it as it's not as easy as staying home 1 day every 3 days according to the 135 days. Some of us work more hours in 1 day that bypasses the day that the 1 in 3 days thing. The amount of work some of us put in through the day, it doesn't matter what people want to do with their day. Even if I work 3 days out of the 365, if I want to use 2 of that 3 days to rest and relax, is my prerogative. I don't understand why all the fine people shouldn't want to rest and relax. All work and no play makes Jack a what? A dull boy? If people want to relax, let them relax. If they want to go on the beach, let them go on the beach. 9 times out of 10 when we have a day off, whether it's vacation, weekend, public holiday, ain't no rest and relaxation as be taking place there, Because Saturday and Sunday, what should be weekend? Errands have to be run, housework have to be done, kids have to be seen after, cooking as a minute going, gas and lasting a week for cooking often. When people get holidays, they coming back from holiday more tired than they were before they go on holiday. Why? Because they didn't use a holiday to rest and relax because we have other things to do. So if I want to, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. All right, let me see if I could read one comment each on the platforms before we close. No comments on YouTube, Facebook. Somebody on Facebook says, doesn't matter whatever crime committed, the perpetrators still have legal rights to be represented by a lawyer. That was something I needed to comment on too. But only if that person who committed the act has a conscience that he committed the offenses and sees it not fit in getting a lawyer, but decides to stand his own consequences. But too much of the sexual cases accused committed the murder, was it last month? We're in July, so last month, and everybody were up in arms about the lawyers representing him. Everybody has a right to be legally represented, no matter the crime. All right, let me read one more comment on WhatsApp. Somebody on WhatsApp says, child molestation was taking place long in Grenada. Since I was growing up, big men in the village used to make pass at me. I know of fathers who are molesting their children. If the older folks are honest, they would acknowledge this. It's only as people are being exposed now, it's nothing new. It's nothing new, but that don't mean we should continue to facilitate it. Whether we start today, we should have started a long time ago, but we need to tackle the problem, because this cycle will continue and it is damaging our children. We have adults that are being sexually molested and they find it hard to cope. So what about the 3- and 4-year-old and 7-year-old, especially those who are molested by family members? The people who are meant to love and protect you are the ones hurting you the most. Not because it was happening from our ancestors or who long ago means we should just accept that it's part of society and move on in the dance. No ma'am, no sir. As a parent, I'm gonna hurt somebody. As a parent, I may be seeking legal representation, and I say it in the public. At this point, I don't care. I'll be seeking legal representation as a parent, whether it's a family member or not that molests my child or a family member close to me. I'ma hurt somebody. Might be more than hurt, but we on TV, so I'ma hurt somebody. I don't care. Let us end here before I start to rant again. Thank you for participating in Open Line Thursday. Always appreciate hearing from our viewers and listeners. It is always an honor when you can participate and share your thoughts, and I share it with the rest of the world. Before I close, let me see if I have a response from the union rep in relation to the link for... No, I do not have a response, so let me check their social media pages as well to see if a link has been posted, because I know a lot of you would like to join. So far, none on GUT, none on TAWU, and none on Public Workers Union. But again, if you have the ability to, you can head on down to Public Workers Union headquarters on Port Highway. There's a big screen that is showing the court proceedings, and you can be a part of the session. To be honest, I'm not fully surprised that the Zoom link has not been made public. Remember, it is court proceedings, and we don't want any and everybody being able to unmute a mic and share a thought. So I am not completely surprised. But if they make the link available, I would share it with... Today's Thursday, so Janelle is up next with Mid Morning Buzz. I will share it with her so that she can share it with you if one becomes available. Enjoy the rest of your thankful Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow morning, God willing. Bye-bye.